Hello everyone, today I wanted to share my top 15 Brandy songs with you. If you would like to skip right to my list, I will have a timestamp on the screen right here to where you guys can go to. And now on to a couple quick disclaimers. Number one, this is just my personal opinion and interpretation of all the songs. I would absolutely love to hear your list down below. Just keep respectful, please. Sorry for any background noise or dust particles that may occur throughout this video. I'm gonna be reading off my phone as I always do. Everything that I mentioned or referenced throughout this video will be linked down below in the description if you're curious. This list is in absolutely no particular order. And lastly, if I have any notes that I forget to add, check down below. I might have a pinned comment. And let's get into it. So at number 15, I'm going to have Torn Down off of the Human album. So I think that this track is just something that I feel really rejuvenated listening to. I absolutely love the chord progressions all over this thing. I think that they really elevate the song. Her vocals on here are wonderful, and I really appreciate the lyrics and the sentiment of this track overall. At number 14 is going to be No Tomorrow off of her B7 album. So I think that this is a pretty track to listen to. Her vocals on here are sublime, and I can really appreciate the production and just something that feels so cozy and relaxing, and I just really like the pocket that she has in this song. And now on to number 13, which is going to be Borderline off of her B7 album. So I think that this is a stunning track. The production on here is very interesting, and it just really hooks me in every single time that I listen to it, and it's just incredible in terms of the production alone. And then I think that her vocals are a treat to listen to on this track, and I can really appreciate the way that this track progresses overall. At number 12 is going to be What About Us off of the Full Moon album. So I think that this is a really cool track overall. The production is something that I always really am excited to listen to. It's something that's a very ambitious effort, and shout out to Rodney Jerkins for his production on this track. And just in general, I think that he is one of the best producers, and I just really enjoy his productions and just what he adds there. So I really love production on this track, something that is so ahead of its time and just flawless overall, and it's aged super well. I think that Brandy's vocals on here are amazing to listen to there, and she has a great pocket in the song as well, and she absolutely slid on the bridge of this song, just absolutely ate, and just something that's always been a favorite for me. About the song, it says, "It was about being in a relationship that's not working anymore," Brandy said in a 2005 interview. What About Us was a little more aggressive and different for me. I'd say it was a little bit ahead of its time. When producer and friend Rodney Jerkins played Brandy the beginnings of the song, she requested the offbeat, aggressive, high-tech track for the Full Moon album. I was like, oh my god, Rodney, this is it. She said in an interview with MTV News, "This is exactly what the industry needs. We can maybe change the game with this." He said, "Yeah, that's what I'm going for." Brand worked with longtime collaborators LaShawn Daniels, Nora Payne, and Kenesha Pratt to rewrite several lyrics in the song. This is an aggressive record. It's edgy, it's sexy. I want to sing about something that's sexy and edgy. I revisited my past in my mind and kind of told them what I want to talk about. Norwood has noted that it took the team a while to get it because she didn't want that sound that's already saturated in the industry. It's important to me to be a trendsetter and change the game. It was a great feeling to see Rodney soar like that. And now on to number 11, which is going to be Almost Doesn't Count from the Never Say Never album. So I think that this is a magnificent track overall. It has lovely production and vocals from Brandy, and I also really love the songwriting on here as well. Just top notch in every single way. And about the song, it says, "Almost Doesn't Count was written by Shelly Peiken and Guy Roche, inspired by a powerful but unfruitful on-again, off-again relationship she had with a man in her college years. Peiken recalled her emotions during a writing session with Roche decades later when she dug up that laundry list of all the almost I felt we had, and we put it into a song." In a 2020 interview, she further elaborated about the lyrics. "It was a relationship that was more in my head than in his. And I always felt like we almost got there. He almost said I love you. He almost broke up with the girlfriend he had the whole time. He almost faced his feelings, but he never quite got there. Maybe that was all in my head too. Maybe he never had any of those feelings. Maybe it was all my imagination." Written in the 32 bar form structure, which the pair considered very sort of country, Peiken and Roche put the song on the back burner since they were not sure how to finish it, feeling undecided about the genre that they were looking for in the song. They resumed work on Almost Doesn't Count a few months later when, according to Peiken, it was a lot clearer. Not so much the genre, but that it was good enough that we couldn't leave it on the back burner. It was really good and we had to finish it, so we did, and then we sent it around. picked up by Atlantic Records. The demo, produced by Roche, was eventually polished by producer Fred Jenkins III for Norwood's second album, Never Say Never. Recording took place at Banana Boat Studios in Burbank and at Pacific Recording Studios in North Hollywood, California, with Piken providing background vocals. In 2019, Roche ranked the song among his favorite productions. And now to number 10, which is going to be Aphrodisiac off of the Aphrodisiac album. So I think that this has a really captivating production done by Timbaland, and Brandy also has a production credit as well. And so I just really like the production there because it's just something that is always so like intricate and cool. So I really appreciate the production in terms of that. And then I just think that Brandy really sells the song and owns it in terms of her vocals. I really like the vocal delivery as well. At number 9 is going to be Say Something off of the B7 album. So this track is just something that is really stellar across the board. I absolutely love the melody on this one. It's so addictive. It is so commanding overall as a song. I think that Brandy's vocals on this song are absolutely immaculate, and this is one that I keep finding myself going to. Like, this song is just truly amazing in every single regard. And now to number 8, which is going to be The Boy Is Mine with Monica off of the Never Say Never album. So if you would have asked me like a month or two ago if this was one of my favorite Brandy songs, I would have told you no. And I don't really know what changed with the song for me. I've always liked the song, but I feel like I just appreciate it more now. It's probably like I didn't listen to it for a bit. I came back to it and I was like, wow, this is a great song. And that has happened to me a bunch of times with different songs. So I think that's what it was. But this song is an undisputed banger. And what I really love about it, the production on here is absolutely flawless. So I really appreciate it there. Something that's interesting to listen to. And I really love the way that Brandy and Monica's voices work together on this song. And they sound impeccable separately, of course. And I just really love the textures of their voice and their tone. And I just really love the way that they approach the song. They really sold the song together. And it's just something that I always really enjoy listening to. So I really appreciate the song on that standpoint. And this is just the song that keeps giving a hit for a reason. On If Brandy Knew How Big the Song Was Going to Be, it says, I didn't know how big it was going to be. I had no idea that it would be number 1 for 13 weeks. I didn't know. But I didn't know that it was a special record. I knew that it was a special record before I got on it, before Monica got on it. I knew just with the way the track sounded, I'd never heard anything like that. But then when the song was written on top of it, and then when it came together, I was like, okay, this is different. And then when Monica put her stamp on it, you just heard the contrast between her and I. I knew that it was going to be something special, but I had no idea it was going to do what it did. I'm still blown away today. It was an incredible moment that I kind of wish we would have seized even more. On what the song is about, Brandy says, women do fight over men. I was watching Jerry Springer one day and these women were fighting over one guy. And I thought it was stupid. I thought it would be a great song. On If the Song was about Brandy and Monica's beef against each other, Monica says, we took the song and brought humor to a situation that people had tried to make so serious. We thought it would be really funny to show us feuding in the video and then come together at the end. Because we wanted people to let go of the idea of us not liking each other. But of course they haven't. And now on to number 7, which is going to be Angel in Disguise off of the Never Say Never album. So I think that the production on this track is truly the highlight. I just think that it's something that is very cool to listen to overall. And I just really like how the track progresses in terms of the production and just overall, because whenever the song starts off, we have like some background vocals and stuff, I believe. And then Brandy's like kind of talking on the song more so. And then as we get into it, she does the vocals. And I just really like her vocal delivery and how she approaches it overall. And this song is just something that is special and something that I appreciate whenever I come back to it. At number 6 is going to be All in Me off of the Full Moon album. So I think that the production on the song is absolutely fascinating to listen to. Brandy's vocals are pleasant to listen to. I love the textures of her voice that she's using in the song particularly. And I also really love how the production switches up at a point, and then like the way that it all comes back together is something that I always love every single time. It's something that I'm always excited to listen to there and definitely highlight on the album in my personal opinion. And now on to top 5. At the 5th slot, I am going to have He Is off of the Full Moon album. This song has always had a special place in my heart. I just really enjoy listening to it overall. I just think that this song is exquisite. And I think that her vocals on here are fantastic. It's something that is a very emotive vocal performance overall, which I can appreciate. I love the bridge on this song. Sometimes you listen to the song and I have to run back the bridge because she just absolutely ate on there. And I really love the production of the song. I think that is very fitting as well. And I really like whenever singers give like gospel songs on their albums and they just really show you how it's done. I just think that it brings the album to another level, and I can appreciate that. About the song on Genius, it says, I didn't get a chance to release a lot of the singles on this album, but this is a fan favorite. Produced by Warren Campbell, and this song can be about your significant other or God. Now on to number 4, which is going to be Baby off of her debut album. So I definitely think that this is a classic song. Her vocals on here are absolutely excellent to listen to. I love all the riffs and runs that she's doing, and just something so satisfying there. And it becomes even more impressive whenever you learn she was like 14, 15 recording her debut album, and she's only grown as a singer since then. So someone who is very talented in the vocal department there. So I just really enjoyed listening to the vocals on the song alone. I think that it's a very catchy song. I love the lyrics on here as well, and I think that the production is great too, and just something that's really stood the test of time. About the song, Rashawn Patterson says, I remember Kenneth Crouch extended the invitation for me to write with him. I remember going over to his house for 2 nights in a row, and from the first night that he wanted to play the track for me, I heard what I heard. But I kept it to myself because I was pretty much intimidated, thinking he would think it was horrible. So I kept it to myself in my head for 2 days. Then by the 3rd day, he was like, we've got to turn this song in by Friday. So whatever you think of, just sing it. So I sang to him what I heard instantly when he played it, and he was like, man, you've been sitting there holding that? And I was like, yeah. So that's how that went down. We recorded the backgrounds and stuff in his apartment back then in one of his bedrooms. And now on to number 3, which is going to be I Want to Be Down off of her debut album as well. So I think that this is an amazing debut single, and it really shows off what she was capable of in terms of vocals, and showcases off her style pretty well. And it was really interesting to learn that she had to be convinced that this should be her debut single because she loved Best Friend so much, and I'm really glad that they were able to do so, because this song is absolutely history. Definitely one of my favorite debut singles of all time. Just wow, everything on here is absolutely incredible. I love her vocals on here very much. I like the songwriting as well, and I think that her production on here is just absolutely stunning as well. And now to number 2, which is going to be Sitting Up in My Room from the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. So I just think that this song is a gem, and I love it very, very much. And definitely shout out to Babyface for everything that he did, because, you know, he wrote the song, he produced it, and just wow, what a talent there. One of my favorite producers of all time, probably as well. Very, very talented in terms of everything that he does. So I just think that he really knocked it out of the park in terms of the composition of the song alone. And I believe there's like this bass line going all the way throughout it, which I love, and I can appreciate the atmosphere of the song as well. And it's really hard for me to describe how it makes me feel, but I love it very, very much, right? I think that this song is super catchy. It has a great vocal performance from Brandy, and a very special track overall. And now on to my number 1 pick, which is going to be When You Touch Me off of the Full Moon album. So I think that this song is perfect from top to bottom, absolutely flawless, immaculate, a gorgeous track to listen to overall. Her vocal performance on this is absolutely insane. I love listening to her vocals on the song, and it's really a standout in terms of her vocals, in my personal opinion. Just love it there. And then I also really appreciate the background vocals of this song, and just how everything works together there. Can we take a second to talk about the ending of the song, because the ending of the song is just absolutely incredible. Love listening to that every single time. I really appreciate the vocal layering in the song and all across her discography. As I said before, I love whenever artists take the time and go into the studio and layer their vocals very well, and Brandy is one of my favorite artists in terms of that. She just really understands it, and it's something that really fills up a song and takes it to the next level. So I really appreciate that on this song in terms of the vocals. The production on the song is absolutely superb. I really appreciate everything that was done there, and I just love the way that everything works together on the song, something that is so soothing to listen to. Another central track, and I think that Brandy owns it really well, and she's able to sell the song, and so this is definitely standing in her discography for me, and something that I keep appreciating more every single time that I go back to it, and just something that is mind-blowing in the best way. So I definitely feel like if you've not checked the song out already, you definitely should. But with that being said, that had to be my number 1 today, and really quickly on the screen, I'm gonna have a little recap, just going over everything, and this is just how I'm feeling right now. Of course, as I listen to the discography more, my opinions can change, but I'm feeling pretty solid on this list. And now on to a couple of quick honorable mentions. So I'm going to have It's Not Worth It off of the Full Moon album. Production on here is absolutely excellent, and I really love her vocals and just how the track progresses there. And then I also have Never Say Never off of the Never Say Never album. I think that this is a great title track. I just really like the kind of pocket that she gets into, something that I always really appreciate. And really quickly, I wanted to share my overall thoughts on Brandy. So I think that she is super, super talented overall. As I said before, the entire reason that I even got into listening to her music was because Mariah Carey was talking about her and saying that she felt she was underrated and stuff. And I was looking for new stuff to listen to, so I was like, know I should check her out, and I'm really glad that I did, just because the textures of her voice and her tone and the layering and all that, it just really stands out, and she's definitely one of my favorite singers of all time. I think that she is a good songwriter there, and I can just really appreciate the effort that she puts into all of her music, and she just really stands out to me. And so I find myself listening to her more often nowadays. I'm kind of like in a Brandy kick right now, but whenever I think about my favorite R&B artist, Brandy is always someone that I'm going to add into the conversation. They call her the vocal Bible for a reason. She's been very influential to many singers, and so I just really appreciate listening to her music. I think that she has some great albums under her belt there, so that's kind of like my overall thoughts on her in general. And I think that if you haven't listened to any of her songs, then you definitely should. You could start off with her debut album. I think that that's a great place to start, or Never Say Never, and then kind of like work your way throughout the rest of her discography there. But I definitely think that she's someone worth knowing if you're really into R&B music, or if you just really appreciate music in general. I feel like there is so much to be gained from listening to her music. She just really has some great stuff. And definitely shout out to Ronnie Jerkins and all the producers of all these songs, of course, and all the songwriters. I think all that matters, all that's important. So that's definitely something that I just remembered that I wanted to add for this video. But that's going to be it for my list. I would love to hear your favorite Brandy songs down below in the comments. Let's continue this discussion. If you wanted to see more videos on Brandy, I will have a card on the screen right here to where you guys can go to, and it'll also be at the end of this video, linked down below in the description. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, give it a like down below. It helps me out a lot in the YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You can also subscribe right down below if you want to see more videos like this. If you hit the bell, you get a notification to your phone when I post, so you not miss when a new video comes out. The first link down below in the description is going to be my second channel, and my latest video on there, I talked about my thoughts on Mariah Carey's performance at Global Citizen Festival, and I also shared my thoughts on Rihanna doing the Super Bowl and a bunch of other things. So if you want to see more of me, definitely check me out on there. I'm also going to have my Twitter, my Instagram, my Spotify if you'd like to follow me, as well as a link to stream Brandy's music. If you have not already, definitely give her a shot. I'm also going to have links to educate you guys on points and situations. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.